Shankaram Siva Shankaram. பாடல் அன்னம் பாலிக்கும். பண் திருக்குறுந்தொகை. திருமுறை 5. பாடியவர் திருநாவுக்கரசர். ராகம் ஆரபி. தலம் Chidambaram. கோயில் பொது. In this video, we talk about Appar style of singing. We do an analysis of this song Annam Paalikkum, and we give a detailed explanation of stanzas 1 to 4. Now we move on to Appar style of singing. So Appar was a very matured and elevated soul, hence his songs would always have a very deep meaning embedded in them. Appar songs would give different perspectives depending on the maturity level of the reader. Now he studied and served in a Jain monastery and then had a very life-changing experience which caused him to transition into Saivism. So although he had made the change into Saivism and faced immense hardships from his predecessors, he was very noble and he never ridiculed the Jains in his songs. So such was the maturity in his thinking and the nobility in his actions. Something also interesting to note in Appar songs is his mention of Ravana and the allusion to the incident of Mount Kailash in the 10th stanza of every song. So in a previous birth, Appar was actually Vagisar Muni. Now this Vagisar Muni was the one who instructs Ravana to sing and appease the Lord when the disturbed Lord Siva presses down Mount Kailash with his toe, thus crushing Ravana when Ravana tries to lift it up. So owing to this sin of, we can call it helping Ravana, Vagisar Muni was born as Marulnikiyar and experienced a lot of difficulties before he became the Appar that we know of. So given this background, let us proceed to the analysis. Appar sings this song when he comes to Chidambaram and does service. And he's showering so much of love while doing this service. So how do we know all this? How do we know his reactions, etc.? If we read Sekirar's Peripuranam, which is nothing but the life history of all the 9 Saints, we can see this. And following is one of the excerpts or a paragraph from it. Arutperu magilchi ponga annam palikkum ennum thirukkurunthogaigal paadi Thirunaavukkarasar kondu perithezhu kaadalodum perinthiruthondu seidu viruppurameni kannir venneetra vandal aada. So Arutperu magilchi ponga. Now he is full of joy, or he is ecstatic. Now he is also ecstatic because he's sung many songs for Lord Siva before singing Annam Paalikkum in this Chidambaram, in this particular trip to Chidambaram. And he's been doing service there in the temple or around the temple. And he says, Annam Paalikkum ennum thirukkurunthogaigal paadi. So a collection of poems that Appar has sung is called Thirukkurunthoggai, and one of the songs here is Annam Paalikkum that he sung. Thirunaavukkarasar kondu. So he is doing this Uruvarappani, or he goes around to many temples and does this service in the temples, or around the temple, or in the temple campus. He grows flowers, gardens, etc. And perinthiru kaadalodum perinthiruthondu seida. So he is still doing that service. Viruppurameni kannir venneetra vandal aada. So the love that is emanating from his eyes, or that comes out from his eyes, that's flowing from his eyes, they dissolve the veneer, the holy ash that's on his body, and then once the tears they evaporate, they form residues of ash. Now the beauty of this poem is actually in splitting the words in the correct way. So the same word is used in 3 lines of a paragraph, and if you split it, or if you look at the conjunction of words in different ways, then they give different meanings. They may be written as the same word, but it is the beauty is actually in splitting the words. For example, in the first paragraph, there is the word Paalikkum. Now you will see that word repeated in the first 3 lines of that paragraph, but not everywhere it is supposed to be read as Paalikkum. In the first line it is read as Annam Paalikkum. In the second line also it is read as Ponnam Paalikkum. But in the third line it is not supposed to be read as Paalikkum, but it is supposed to be read as En Ambu Aalikkumaru. Now we'll come to meanings later, and then you'll understand why the split is like that. Similarly, in the third paragraph there is a word Sutra. So it's not again always supposed to be read as Sutra, But in the first line of the third paragraph, it is Arichu Utru Vinayal. In the second line, it is Yerichutru Kidandar. And in the third line, it is Sirichu Utru Pala. So these will be understood when we do the explanation of each verse in detail later. So in this song, Appar is full of self-esteem and confidence. And you can see this self-esteem and confidence growing as we go from one stanza to another. Now you could be incorrectly made to believe that this is arrogance and pride. But really believe me when I say this, Appar is in a state of beyond arrogance and pride. He is in a state of self-esteem and all-knowing. He kind of knows what Lord Shiva expects from him, or how he knows the relationship between him and Lord Shiva. So in the first paragraph, Appar is expressing confidence by saying, will Lord Nataraja give him bliss in this birth itself by seeing the way he is doing service? So it's like that confidence in the way he says it. And in the next two paragraphs, he is addressing the people, or his fellow volunteers you can say, by asking them to worship or take refuge at Lord Shiva's feet so that they are not troubled by sins that keep haunting them. In the fourth paragraph, he mentions that for a limitless servant like him, none of the three kinds of karmas will affect him. And what are the three kinds of karmas? So this is again a bit theoretical. So one of the karmas is called prarabdha, the second is called sanchita, and the third is called kriyamana or agami. Now what is prarabdha? Prarabdha karma is one experience through the present body. And this is only one part of sanchita karma. So sanchita karma is the sum of one's past karmas. So you know that when you have a lot of karmas, they're not all experienced in one birth. You experience them over many births. So that is sanchita. Sanchita is the sum of everything. And prarabdha is what you are experiencing in this particular birth. And the agami karma or the kriyamana is the result of any current decisions and actions. So you know that current actions and decisions will give more karma. It depends on how those decisions and actions were performed, or they will lead to more karmas. Now self-assurance, again in the fifth paragraph, he says he will meditate on the Lord as long as he lives and be transported to heaven. So the moment he's saying he's not stopping by saying just he's meditating, but he's saying he'll be transported to heaven itself. In the sixth, he strengthens previous statements by saying that Lord Yama, the god of death, will not even come closer to those siddhas who worship Lord Shiva in Chidambaram. And in the seventh paragraph, he says Lord Shiva knows his devotee. So this is again confidence and unshakable belief, because his devotee is Appar himself. That's why he's basically calling himself a devotee of Lord Shiva. In the 8th, 9th and 10th, he cites two popular incidents. So one is Lord Vishnu and Brahma searching for Shiva, and the other of Lord Shiva destroying the Tripura cities. Now in the first incident, which is Lord Vishnu and Brahma searching for Lord Shiva, he says that they were searching for Lord Shiva outside. But then he adds to this, he says, but that Lord Shiva resides in his own heart, which is Appar's heart. So he's saying Lord Shiva and Vishnu are searching outside, but I have already found them inside. Now if you remember a verse of Appar from Thiruvangamalai, he says, Thedi kandu konden, Thirumaludu naanmuganum thedi thedavonadu, Devanai en ulle thedi kandu konden. So in that verse of Thiruvangamalai, he says, I have already found, Thedi kandu konden, I have already found that Lord Shiva's feet, which Thirumaludu naanmuganum, which Thirumal, which Lord Vishnu, and Naanmuganam, the four-headed Brahma, Thedi thedonadu, that which they were trying to search and which they were not capable of finding, I have found that person's feet, that Devanai, that Lord's feet, ennulle, inside my own heart, I have already found. So you see, this paragraph of his is very similar to that paragraph which is sung in Thiruvangamalai. And in the last paragraph, as I've already told you before, he finishes by telling us all to uplift ourselves to reach that feat of Lord Shiva that crushed Ravana's head. So he's alluding to that particular incident of Mount Kailash. So let me also remind you that there is a link to the song in the description below. So now we will go to the detailed explanation of stanzas 1 to 4. பாடல் எண் 1, stanza 1. அன்னம் பாலிக்கும் தில்லை சிற்றம்பலம் பொன்னம் பாலிக்கும் மேலும் இப்பூமிசை என் அம்பாலிக்குமாறு கண்டின் புற இன்னம் பாலிக்குமோ இப்பிறவியே. So Annam Palikkum Thillai Chidambaram. So Thillai Chidambaram, Thillai Nataraja gives us, Palikkum is gives, Annam is food or rice you can say, because in South India Annam is called rice. They eat rice a lot. So you can say he gives us food or rice. Ponnam Palikkum Melum. So Melum also he gives us Ponnam, which is gold. Where? Ibbu Misai. Ibbu, in this earth, Misai is on. So Thillai Nataraja gives us both food and wealth. But Yen Ambu Alikkumaru. Alikkumaru is in the way of showering. What is he showering? Ambu. Here Ambu is not an arrow, but Ambu is just a variation of Anbu, which is love. Yen Anbu Alikkumaru. You know, Appar was doing service and he was showering a lot of love while doing the service. So Kande, that is after Nataraja sees his the way he is showering his love, Inbura, Inbu Uru or Ura. Inbam means pleasure, but here it is Perinbam, which is the greatest bliss on earth. Innam, yet or still, Palikkumo, will he give me Ippiraviye, in this birth. So in this birth, after seeing how I am showering my love, will he give me this bliss, the greatest bliss, in this birth itself? So Thillai Chidambaram bestows me with food, gold and other materialistic pleasures in this world. So witnessing the manner in which I am showering love, or witnessing the amount of love I am showering, will he still grant me the ultimate bliss or salvation, which is Perinbam, in this birth itself? பாடல் எண் 2, stanza 2. அரும்பு அற்றப்பட ஆய்மலர் கொண்டு நீர் சுரும்பு அற்றப்பட தூவே தொழுமினோ கரும்பு அற்ற சிலை காமனை காய்ந்தவன் பெரும் பற்று புலியூரியம் பிரானையே. So Arumbu means a bud. Attrapada, Attram plus Padu, which is to separate. So Attram is to separate, Padu too. So Attrapada is to separate or to remove. I Malar, that is I plus Malar. I is to seek or to search for, and Malar is a flower. Kunde. So what is he trying to say here in the first sentence? Is you seek those flowers by sifting out the buds, so by removing all the buds. Neer. So here he is addressing the people, or he is addressing the volunteers. So Neer is you. Surumbu. Surumbu is a male bee. Attrapada, again to sift it out. Tuvi Tolumino. So Tolumino can have two meanings. Either why don't you worship, or you worship. So it can be the negation, or it can be the positive way of saying, that is you worship. Tuvi is to scatter. So he's trying to say in these two lines is, see, you scatter you worship the Lord by scattering those flowers where you remove all the buds. That is, you go for fully blossomed flowers. That's what he's saying. Or you go for those flowers which are not touched by the bees. Because normally it is understood that, like people say, it is very nice to give flowers to God which are not touched, which are not polluted, they say, or which are not fully grown. So they have to be fully grown to or fully bloomed to be given to the Lord. Karumbu Attrachilai. So Karumbu is the sugar cane. Attrachilai. So Atra means Andre, is just a version of Andre, which is like. So Silai is a bow which is like a sugar cane, or bow made of sugar cane. That's what it means here. Kamanai Kaindavan. So Kamanai is the Kamadeva, or the god of love, or you can say Cupid, as is said in English. Now you know Kamadeva has a bow made of sugarcane, and Kaindavan is the one who burnt. So this is basically a citation of the story where Lord Shiva burns Kamadeva when Kamadeva is trying to instill love in Lord Shiva and tries to wake him up from his meditation. Perumpatru Puliyur is nothing but is Chidambaram. It's another name for Chidambaram. Yem Piranaye. So the Lord Nataraja of Perumpatru Puliyur is my father or my Lord or my God. That is Piranaye. So what he's trying to say here, oh people, by scattering beautiful flowers that have not been touched by any bees and removing any buds, why don't you worship? Oh, you worship my God, Lord Shiva, Nataraja, of Perumpatru Puliyur, that is Chidambaram, the one who burnt Lord Kamadeva, who has a sugarcane bow. Padal Yen 3, stanza 3. Arichutru Vinayal Adar Pundani எரிச்சுட்டு கிடந்தார் என்று அயலவர் சிரிச்சு உற்றுப்பல பேசப்படாம் போனம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம் சென்று அடைந்து உயமேனே. So arichu utra vinayal. Now utra vinay, utra means intense, vinay is the sins or the karmas that we do. So utra vinay, because of the intense sins, it keeps itching for us. So you know when you have a boil and it itches, you keep on scratching. So that is what it means. Or here it means the strong hold of the sins, the sins that are really strongly holding on to you, they keep making you suffer. And adarpu undu is to make someone suffer. Neer is you. Yeri chuttu kidandar. Kidandar is one who is just lying like a dead body. Erichutru, with fire surrounding you. So once you're dead and you're on the padai or on the pyre, then you start burning. So what happens then? Because of all these sins that you suffer because of, and then once you're on the dead on the pyre, Yendre Ayalavar is a stranger or maybe neighbors that you know. Sirichu Utrappala, Sirichu, they keep laughing and do what? And they kind of ridicule you. Utrappala, they say many intense things that are not supposed to be said. Pesapada Munam is before. Pesapada, those things that are not to be said, they say. Okay, so before anyone says anything like that, and because of your sins that you are suffering you're undergoing any suffering, and before you are going to be put on the pyre and you're going to die, Tiruchitrambalam sendru, go to Tiruchitrambalam or go to Lord Nataraja in Chidambaram, Adaindu Uimene, and uplift yourself by reaching his feet. Adaindu, you reach. Uimene is to uplift yourself. So here he's again addressing the people. So, O people, go and take refuge at the feet or reach the feet of Tiruchitrambalam, Lord Nataraja, before you are oppressed by your own intense sins, and before you lie on the burning pyre and your neighbors laugh and ridicule you. So, Padal Yen 4, stanza 4. Allal yen seyyum aruvinai yen seyyum Thillai Vaazh சொந்தம்தான் என் செய்யும் தில்லை மாநகர் சிற்றம்பலவனார்க்கு எல்லை எல்லாதோர் அடிமை பூண்டேனுக்கே. So, allal yen seyyum, what will troubles do to me? But here allal is the future trouble. You remember again in the analysis of the song, I'd said that he talks about 3 kinds of karmas: the prarabdha karma, the sanchita karma, and the agami karma. So this is the agami or the future karma. Any decisions or any actions because of our current decisions or actions. Aruvinai ensayum. So arumayana vinay. Arumai here is the great or the stronghold, those sins that hold on to me very strongly. That is the prarabdha karma. So those that are because of a past birth that we are encountering or we are experiencing in the current birth. Tollai, here troubles. Dondam or Valvinai, Val here is again the stronghold sins. Dondam, that is here Dondam is a Sanskrit word which means Dwanda or two, which is both good and the bad sins, or in Tamil you will say Iruvinai. So the good and the bad sins, which are nothing but the accumulated Sanchita karma here. So the Sanchita karma, what Adhidan yen sayum, what else, what will that do? What can that also do? So what will the Prarabdha karma do? What will the Sanchita karma do? Or what will the Agami karma do to me? Thillai Managar Chidambaram. So Thillai Managar, the great city, Managar, Ma is great. The great city of Thillai. Chidambaram. Yellai illador. Yellai is limit. Limit illador. There is no limit. Adimai Pundenukke. So Adimai plus Pundu. Adimai is a servant and Pundu is one who is a fettered. So a fettered servant of whom? Of Lord Shiva, that Chidambaram. So me, who is a limitless servant of Chidambaram, of the Lord Nataraja, what will all these karmas do to me? So to me, who am a limitless servant of the Lord Chidambaram of great Thillai city, what will my future sorrows do? What will my current stronghold sins do? And what will the ever troubling and cruel accumulated good and bad sins do? Shankaram, Siva Shankaram.